right? It's all up in here. It's all in your mind space, how hard you want to work for it.
Totally.
Right? You want $1 million, go get $1 million. Your advantages. So
most people don't understand that. That's lesson number one.
It doesn't matter how you make the money, it's just what are you doing to put it together. There's risk in everything, but you got to gauge your risk temperature. What's the worst that could happen? The house burns down, you have insurance, right?
Right. You're covered then.
You're covered.
You're covered.
That's true. Alright, man, let's go. Good. How's it going, bro? How are you? This is my cousin, Jesse. He's actually the first wedding I ever filmed. I don't know if you knew that. Oh, you do it? Ever. They let me beta test their wedding, and now here we are a couple years later. So let's go ride in the limo and hear what you're up to, man. All right, so Jesse Fisco. We kind of introduced you outside, but you're my cousin, right?
Right, absolutely.
So family first.
That's right.
Family first,
I'm
and
excited.
he's a real estate pro, and all sorts of stuff which we're about to delve into. But I mentioned that you're the first wedding I filmed. You let me take a chance on, like before told me before anything.
That's right.
I was like, hey dude, can I film your wedding? I just got this camera, and
you were the guinea pig.
no, he was.
Literally though, fantastic job. And I kid you not, it was like, you know what? I like seeing the growth and the things that have happened. It's like it didn't surprise me, right? Like that's cool.
Appreciate
so,
that, man.
That's awesome.
It's
man.
funny because I used your video to then market it and get more. So
That's right.
You know, part of it was you guys' good looks. So
Well,
So thank you.
That's what business is all
seriously.
about, right? You
Yeah.
network with
Yeah.
someone, do something for free, and in
There you
return
go.
you use it for your advantages. So
most people don't understand that. That's lesson number one.
that's lesson number
You
one.
have to do something for free the first few times, even just for testimonial.
You got to get your name out there, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
That's
Well, tell
important.
us about you. So tell us a little bit about your background, what you do, and then we'll ask you the big question.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I've started in real estate 5 years ago. We started doing what's called house hacking, if you're familiar with Bigger Pockets, where
Yeah.
Tell us what it is.
Okay,
I
house
love
hacking.
the strategy.
House hacking, essentially, you buy a house that you live a portion in, and then you rent out the other portion of the house.
Right.
A lot of people here in Utah love the mother-in-law apartments, right,
Yeah.
with the basement. So that's what we did. We started out, bought our first flip. Well, we bought our first flip, did that, and then bought our first house hack in Sandy. Loved the house, hated the area, but it's Sandy, so you got to live there.
It's
right?
a good area. Yeah,
So,
good area. Yeah.
Anyways, it was great, and we lived there, rented it out, got a little bit more zealous, and decided, you know what, we're going to live in the basement.
Oh,
Because
really?
why not make more money on this house that we don't really need? It was just my wife and I. So
You fetch a better rent upstairs.
yeah,
don't
we
ya?
made $250 a month better upstairs, and so we're like,
Oh, wow.
we'll do this and have our mortgage a whopping $300 a
Wow.
month. No
That's
brainer to me. So long story short, we loved it. We had some renters, great tenants, everything was good, and then we decided to expand. And a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually qualify the rents that you have from your house to qualify for your next house, up to 75%. And so what we did is we pooled our rents together and did a conventional loan, because our first one was FHA, and did a conventional loan with 3% down, which also
Amazing.
you can't find that. That's like buying a house for little to nothing, right? And so we're able to qualify into a higher tier bracket than we would have been able to. So we bought a bigger house with a third bedroom upstairs, at which point rented our basement, rented our Sandy house with both units, lived absolutely rent-free.
Yeah.
Owned two houses, $700,000 in debt, two houses for free. Like,
So you are like straight up real estate investor, man.
so I wouldn't say that, but I loved it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's real
the
estate
numbers
investing.
make sense, and I'm a numbers guy. So if I'm sitting there, that's what I'm doing. So
That's cool, man.
yeah,
That's
absolutely
cool.
loved it. And so now, with that being said, like my wife had her license, I had mine, and people started calling us and saying, "Hey, well, see what you're doing, love it. Can you help us?" And
So dual agents. and
dual agents.
That's
right.
cool, man.
I wish she was here with me, but we have a 3-year-old and one on the
there
way.
you go.
So,
Yeah.
But anyways, she runs a show. She's got the sympathy and the empathy for people, and I'm more or less just the driving force. It's a number of work.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. So
Yeah.
we make a great duo. But we ended up. She started helping when she got pregnant. Started helping people. And then, long story short, she got way too busy, and I decided, you know what, I do sales. I can be a salesman. That's not hard.
Yeah.
Jumped in, full-fledged, changed our life, changed our income, changed
She did it
everything.
first.
She did it first.
And then you left the...
And then I left. I was
9 to
selling.
5
I
too.
was selling copiers for a living, and I was doing a great job do
So
it
you
now.
love the sales game.
But the sales game, I'm the hunt, right? I'm the bulldog, and she's the person that keeps the
You got
bulldog
the
from
good cop,
fighting,
bad
right?
cop, man.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's what we got.
That's how it goes. So she, she's the nurturer, and I'm the one that just goes out and talks to people because I love it.
Yeah.
Like, when I got the opportunity to be on this show, I was like, dude, put me on.
Dude, that's awesome.
I'll talk. So that was our business, and since then we've grown. Utah's grown exponentially. We've hired 4 agents on our team, and we actually built and have established another team out in Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
We're running
That's
as well. So we're back and forth. Yep.
That's cool, man.
So,
And tell me, so real quick, because this is one thing that I think a lot of people who don't do real estate investing, I mean, obviously both of you understand this, but I think a lot of people, when they think about real estate investing, they run away because of the debt.
mm-hmm.
They see lots of zeros in debt. But what you're saying is, it's actually, is it easier to qualify for a second home if you have somebody renting out your first one?
Absolutely.
And people don't know that.
And people don't know that because people get nervous, like, oh man, my memory's here, my house, like, I don't want this house to get ruined and trashed by tenants. But what they got to realize is you put whatever effort you put in is the result you're going to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're spending a lot of time vetting your tenants, I mean, you're going to have 100% vacancy, or no vacancy. It's going to be you're going to have 100% occupancy in this duplex or whatever you're renting out, and you're going to get great rent, and you're going to have wonderful people that want to stay for a while.
Yeah.
And so, but it all is all in your effort, right? Just like anything else, you guys put in a ton of effort here.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get out of it.
Totally.
And so that's
cool.
Don't be nervous, right?
I love it, dude. I love
it.
That's the thing. There's risk in everything, but you got to gauge your risk temperature. What's the worst that could happen? The house burns down. You have insurance, right?
Right.
You're covered.
You're covered.
You're covered.
That's true.
So mitigate your risks and then take a risk.
Yeah.
Right.
So we love talking numbers and specifics, right? And you can go as specific as you like, but we only have one question as part of the show, which is, how do you make money?
I love it.
And people, I'm curious a little bit about your Tennessee versus your Utah. You have your active income, you have your passive, you have your real estate stuff. Like, what's your favorite? How do you like to make money?
I don't care. I'm a jack of all trades, right? So my favorite is I love being in front of people, and if I can network and say, hey, these guys that do Limo Talk can connect with someone else that's needs this exposure or this opportunity, that's where I find my passion, right? And so the money kind of follows through that connection and servicing. So for me, like, I guess the fun of it is just the creativity side, right? Like, it doesn't matter how you make the money, it's just what are you doing to put it together. So I hope that's a fair enough answer.
Sure.
But it's like, I don't have one favorite thing. Real estate is like my passion, and so it's like, great.
So when it comes to real estate, you'll sell to clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you have a team, and I imagine you get a commission from everything they do.
Exactly.
Do you throw them leads, and they go sell, and you get a kickback?
Absolutely. So the way a traditional real estate team works is they do give you a portion of their commission, and a lot of things have changed over time, and obviously you guys can see the real estate, like the whole real estate industry is changing with some of these other companies that are coming into play.
Yeah.
And so what we've decided is to change a little bit of our team and do more of a partner structure. So we just say, hey, come on to the team and I'll help you build your portfolio. You're going to pitch in a certain amount of percentage to the kiddie pool, and that's going to pay for all of our marketing.
Yeah.
What that has done to help save us money so we don't have to work as hard is, now you get a website, now you get lead generating, now you get exposure and parties and all the other fun stuff. But what would cost one agent $8,000 to $10,000 a month now costs them $2,500.
That's awesome.
So, we're reducing all the cost, but just bringing more people on as a partner. So that's what our team is doing, and it's been a lot of fun, and there's been growing pains. We've been doing it for about 7 months now. So there's some growing pains.
Awesome.
So
that's good, though. That's good.
what you need to do. To be a good entrepreneur, you've got to look at opportunity and act on it, and fail sometimes, right?
You have to, at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur is pain. Like, that's what it is. Like,
exactly.
if you solve the pain, then you're an entrepreneur, most people they don't want the pain. They would rather work for somebody.
Right.
And that's fine. They'll make money, but you can make more money if you're willing to grind through the pain.
Exactly.
Of anything.
Once again, you go and you put in great effort at work, you're going to get a raise, you're going to get a promotion, and you're going to get a better result than someone that doesn't, right? It's all up in here. It's all in your mind space, how hard you want to work for it.
Totally.
Right? You want $1 million, go get $1 million, but you got to figure out how to go get it.
Right.
But you got to think, like, what would it take to get $1 million?
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
So.
And tell us about the Tennessee team opening that up.
Yeah. So
you did it in Utah and then decided.
I'll be honest, this has been the hardest thing for us so far, because we have a great established company here, and it's infant, it's still a newborn. So like the way I try to explain it is like, try raising your kid across the state. Like, you can't do it.
It's so hard.
Like, even right now, my wife's out celebrating Father's Day for her dad in Tennessee, and I'm over there doing FaceTime, and she pushes me around in her little stroller as if I'm there and active, right? So that's hard, and that's what it was like making that integration. So Ambry and I, my wife, we go out, and in Tennessee we just started building and had great success. And what I keep telling my agents is we had fool's gold for a minute where we thought things were good, but then it turned out 3 months later, after that pipeline had kind of fizzled out, it wasn't as good as we thought. And so it's caused us to change the structure of payment and to get more buy-in. And so like our Tennessee thing has been a huge learning experience for us and has gotten us some great growth. But then because of that extra step and that extra push forward, we started seeing some things sacrifice a little bit. So that's where we're kind of at right now with our business, is both are profitable, but not where we were hoping to be when we set our goals. You know, setting COVID aside, right?
But you're on the right track, right? And you probably don't regret it, do you?
Not at all. I mean, there's days where you wake up and go, oh my gosh, I'm the lowest of lows. I can't do this anymore. I'd rather go an 8 to 5. But then you wake up the next day, or an hour later, it's like, this is why I did what I did. Right?
I love that. So
then, and that's the emotional roller coaster you're going to get being an entrepreneur.
Oh right? And I want to talk for a minute about like, kind of what you were saying is the pains of trying to expand your business, regardless of what it is, in a different state. It's hard, man. I mean, there is something. Yes, we have the internet, and even if leads are like generated through the internet, you could run ads to Tennessee and talk to them from Utah. But you're right. There's this element of boots on the ground that it's missing. Like so for my wedding business, just to kind of reiterate what you're saying, like I'd never been to Arizona, but I owned the wedding area of Arizona, and I was selling packages in Arizona, but it wasn't doing super well. And I was always proud of the fact that I was like, I've never even been to Arizona, but then I went to Arizona finally after like 3 years. And when I went to Arizona and I saw what it actually looked like, what the people were like, I was like, okay, I lowered the prices based on the research I did, and I knew what like images to run as ads because I actually knew what Arizona looked like. I didn't know what it looked like. Duh. I mean, mountains aren't going to work. I should have thought of that. I didn't. And so I'm running my Utah ads in Arizona. And the moment I start running my Arizona ads to Arizona, it did better. But I have to know what Arizona looks like. And so to your point, it's hard because you have to actually go there, be there, understand there, talk to the people, learn.
And in the meantime, you got your clients here in your business that's calling you, because when you start off as an entrepreneur, that's what you are. You're self-employed. And so people call you and say, hey, like, what do you want? What do I do in this situation? What do I not do in this situation? Well, then when you leave, now all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, like he's left the reins or she's left the reins to me, and I got to take care of this business. What is that going to look like? And so that's where our biggest trial is right now. But I mean, when it comes to making money, that's the funnest part about it, is the figuring out the creativity and not being afraid to take that risk. Like I watched one of your videos, Nick, where you invested $10,000 during coronavirus, right? Okay, stock market drops. That was a bold move, and it paid huge dividends. Just 50 days later, the stock market's right back where it's at. Same thing with us. We watched it go down. We invested $10,000 in our business, and we've seen a 5x return on $10,000 in the course of 90 days or less. So
last thing here, looks like you're kind of pulling back in, but talk to me about your process for risk assessment, right? There's a lot of risk in stocks or real estate. What are the steps that you take? You see an opportunity. What do you do? What do you go through to decide, is it worth it or is it not?
I love that question, and it's going to be a funny answer. So my wife and I, we based our whole marriage on, what if you lose everything? What is that going to look like? And what if you win everything? What is that going to look like? And we came down to the main core, is if we lose everything, we still have each other, and that's what matters the most to us. If we win everything, we still have each other, and we have lots of money. Right? So that's
both situations are great.
Both situations are great, but you have to look at it from a perspective. Are you a type of person that needs that steady income? And can you look at it? You have $10,000 to go invest. If you don't, then don't risk it, or look at other options. Maybe invest $5,000. But I mean, I'm highly aggressive when it comes to taking risk, but that's because I just know that if I lost everything and that was my reality, I would make it a positive situation and get out of it. And some people can't. Right? And so that would be my risk assessment, is look at it and say, what's the worst and what's the best? And weigh it out, pros and cons. If you lose $10,000 today, can you make that back? If you can't, you probably should invest it. Or if you lost $10,000 and the next day you made 15, is that worth it to you?
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to really weigh out.
Yeah.
So risk assessment is like my biggest thing, but I love it because it allows me to really think. And one of my favorite authors was Grant Cardone when he wrote his book about 10X.
I love that book, dude.
In order to be a millionaire, you have to think like a millionaire. And if your goals do not align like a millionaire,
Right.
you're never going to make $1 million.
No.
Right?
No.
And so to get to that next space, hey, I have $10,000. Like, whew, that's a lot of money for most people. Okay, what would a Grant Cardone do? What would a Warren Buffett do?
Right.
And when you start thinking like that, doors open, and then your mind gets open to, hey, $10,000 in the grand scheme of things is not as much money as I really think it is,
Yeah.
even though it seems like a lot to me right now. But when you start thinking, that's when a lot of the creativity comes.
Crazy, man. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you came out here. I love this. I think the whole conversation's been
this is
fantastic.
awesome.
Tell the audience, how can they connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
We'll put the links on it.
I love it, yeah. I mean, anything and everything, call us, text us. If you have questions,
the Fisco Real Estate Team?
FiscoRealEstate.com or Fisco Real Estate Team on a normal search. If you search us on Google, we've put in enough marketing efforts, you'll find us pretty quickly. So,
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And can you operate in any of the states?
So we can operate in Utah and Tennessee.
Okay.
If you want a good agent that we would vet and that actually trust, call us and we will find an agent for you in
Anywhere
another
they
state.
are.
That's
Right.
cool.
So and same thing with mortgage lenders. If you need a good lender, call us and we'll help. We have that resource around the United States.
I love it. Hey, well, thanks, dude. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Pleasure, man.
Pleasure. Yes, it's awesome.
If you are a small business owner, we are looking for
You, baby.
We have developed a free course to help you take your small business and go national in just 2 to 4 months.
Learn exactly how licensing can take your business to the next level. We're talking explosive growth. Check out the link in the description. It's 100% free.